with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Guys, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm your fave, Azem. Usually I'm joined by Jade, Gwen, Idita, CPL Mathis, Stuart Johnson. But unfortunately, I am on my lonesome today. But big up Jade, same still. I only thought when I couldn't be here earlier this week. I think she's actually doing mommy duties, so you guys know how important that is. But yeah, she should definitely be back with us tomorrow. Hope everybody out there doing good. I'm doing well. Overslept a bit, so let me first apologize for my tardiness. But yeah, y'all know things be this time of year. You know, things going. You're doing your cleaning. You're doing your shopping, and some of us busy getting stuff up and running for one event or the next. So there's a lot happening. There is actually quite a bit happening around right now. But again, at least I hope everybody's day has gotten off to a great start. And looking forward to a cool show with you today. I have some guests coming in throughout the day. So I'm really looking forward to those conversations. Exciting things tonight, and we're having a great conversation. Today is Thursday, so we usually have a rep from the Sugar Mass Committee to come in and hang out with us, and today is no different. So look forward to that. But how everybody out there doing? Hey, feel free to give me a call, hang out, talk. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me tell y'all now, early o'clock, I was not able to listen to the budget address. I know the budget address is usually very long, but one, I had things to do. Two, I had to watch the World Cup match yesterday, so I had to make sure I get everything done before before the match, and yes, I'm a bit behind on that, but we'll definitely read a report about what was discussed, at least to some extent, before I get out of here. But Jaden here, so I could talk all the football I want. But yesterday, France and Morocco faced off in one of two World Cup semifinals. The day before, Argentina had faced Croatia, and Argentina won that match, and so they were sitting pretty waiting on whoever won the match yesterday to come and join them in the finals. And let me set the stage here. I was in a French territory. Yes, I was in a French territory 4 years ago when France won the World Cup, and that was amazing. Just because, you're in a place where 99% of the people are rooting for one team, and to have that team win, it was a really real cool experience, right? And the celebration lasted for however long. I remember I couldn't get back to my hotel. People were like running on the tarmac of the airport. Planes were flying out. Like, the whole thing was crazy. People were just in such a jubilant mood. It was definitely interesting. So this year coming up, I said here on the air that I was back in either Brazil, Argentina, and I was hoping for the best from the African countries. And so, for those of you who are not really following the World Cup, Morocco has, let's say, exceeded expectations, and they made it to the semi-final yesterday. And it wasn't an easy road. They beat some good teams. They beat Germany, Spain, Portugal along the way, and had really become, I would say, the tournament darlings in a sense. Really overachieving, getting to a point that I suspect very few anticipated they would have gotten to. So I'm looking forward to it. African country versus France, and up until this point, they hadn't allowed a goal by a foreigner. There was one goal scored against them, but it was an own goal. And so, I was saying, well, this is going to be a test. And I was really looking forward to the game. And the game didn't disappoint. It was a good game. Unfortunately, Morocco did concede a goal relatively early. And, but what was interesting was just the response, the way they fought back. And I really liked that dynamic that was happening there. France did eventually score another goal after soaking up a lot of pressure from Morocco, who were trying to equalize. And after the game, I really started thinking a bit about sports, the role sports play in geopolitics and just in society. I really believe that things like football, cricket, basketball, I think these are some of the things that when we start talking about what sets us apart from other animals. I think sports is a big one. I think sports may be the thing that we do to avoid like just totally wiping out each other. The competitiveness, the sending representatives out, you know, so a certain class or a certain set of persons go out to represent us in some sort of competitive, a lot of times violent activity, which then comes with, which to the victor goes the spoils, which in a lot of cases might be money, bragging rights, etc., etc. I think sports play a huge role in society, from that aspect. I think it was one of the ways where we went from the David and Goliath type interaction where you send out your champion, I send out my champion, and let them have a contest to see which one of us wins. I mean, I have heard stories, and we've discussed it here, about how even here in St. Kitts we would have, back in the day, fighters from different communities. Newtown fighter, McKnight village fighter, and they would have a prearranged battles between the communities where the champions would go and fight one another. I've heard about I've heard several interesting stories and recounts of these encounters. Yeah, so I believe that sports is just an extension of that. I mean, we see it in the park now. Football, I think it allows us to, in a more productive way, get that aspect of our humanity out of us, that competitive edge, that need to congregate and socialize ourselves into groups by geography and still compete with persons who have done the same from a different area. So I really appreciate the role that sports play. For those of you who claim to not be sports fans, yeah, until it's Super Bowl, and then you like to be a part of you don't even know how the game go. You don't know how the game go, but you reach in by your friend to eat the wings and the pizza, and to just partake in the excitement. And I know people who seemingly get upset with the casual fan, like the people who go to the park only during the finals, the people who reach up Scabo only when it's the last game of the season, and they'll be like, well, you don't want to watch no basketball, what are you doing here? I'm like, yo, appreciate it. I let them come in. The casual fan, like all the serious fans started out as casual fans, so let them come, and just let them be a part of it. Like it's a big part of our socialization as humans. So yeah, big up to all the sports fans out there. Big up to Morocco. Big up to all the African teams. We didn't have any Caribbean teams this year, but we had some CONCACAF teams. I don't like to claim America as a CONCACAF team, but yeah, they were there as well. Mexico, of course, and I still have one team in the finals. I still have one team in the finals, and I think it's a good final. We have Argentina versus France in the World Cup finals. I think that's next week. We have, and then of course we're gonna have the third place match, which will be between Croatia and Morocco. So I still have hope for my Moroccan team. Somebody made the point yesterday that Moroccans, don't consider themselves African and thing. I had to let them know. Well, that might be true to some extent, but I guess you kind of understand, based on the fact that the history of Morocco, kind of being taken over by Arabs, definitely a Muslim stronghold. They would have, the Moors would have left there in a lot of cases and gone and conquer places in Europe. So yeah, we see the history. But, still Africa no matter what you say. And I for one, I'm going to support it. I would have really liked to see the quarterfinal between Brazil and Argentina. But hey, I'm just a spectator. I don't have much to do with what goes on there. But let's get into tea time now. It's tea time. So of course, guys, yesterday we had the budget address, and I've only heard small comments about it. Y'all know I in the social media, darling, so I don't have a full picture of what would have gone on. I would have listened for about a half hour yesterday before I just had to get into what I was doing. But, and this is from TimesCaribbeanOnline.com, and the headline reads, St. Kitts-Nevis public debt at the end of 2021 was EC 1.6 billion. Financial support granted to government entities and agencies, as well as additional transfers to the Nevis Island administration, resulted in over expenditure during last fiscal year. St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, informed the Twin Island Nation that the total public sector debt at the end of December 2021 stood at 1.6 billion, or 69.2% of GDP. Presenting his first budget address since assuming office in August 2022, the Federation's fifth Minister of Finance since political independence, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew told the budget session of the National Assembly on Wednesday, 14 December 2022, that was yesterday, that all should be aware of the economic prospects. He stated that the small island open economy is heavily dependent on what is happening at the global level, particularly the economic situation of its major trading partners. The Prime Minister pointed out that the global economy is expected to increase in 2023 and that there is a looming threat of a global recession in 2023 accompanied by downside risk, which include inflation, tightening global financial conditions, continued supply chain disruptions, the ongoing war in Ukraine, and other geopolitical tensions, and the potential negative impacts of climate change. Against this backdrop, the economies in the Eastern Caribbean Community Union are expected to record growth in real GDP of 6.4% in 2022 and 5.9% in 2023. Hopefully we can outperform that. On the domestic front, a review of the government's 2021 fiscal performance highlighted how heavily the former Team Unity administration relied on the proceeds from the Citizenship by Investment program to fund the operations of the government. This is not a sustainable practice. Okay, that's good to hear that. During the year, inflows from the CBI program accounted for 54.9% of total revenue, and grants unfunded 63.5% of the government's total expenditure. I don't think there's much of a surprise there. Total revenue and grants for the 2021 fiscal year therefore counted to 988.8 million, of which recurrent revenue was 970.4 million and grants were $18.4 million EC, said Finance Minister Drew. He added, while non-tax revenue exceeded the budget by 106.9%, mainly on account of the proceeds from the CBI program, tax revenue was 19.8% lower than anticipated. The low level of tax revenue highlights the prolonged negative effects that the pandemic and country lockdowns have had on individuals and businesses. With respect to expenditure, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, stated that the total amount that was expended for the 2021 fiscal year was $855 million, Of this amount, 701.8 million was related to recurrent expenditure, and EC 153.2 million was for capital expenditure and net lending. Outlays for recurrent expenditure were 10% more than the budget, while capital expenditure and net lending was 20.7% below the estimates, said Dr. Drew. He also disclosed that over-expenditure for recurrent expenditure was primarily related to financial support that was granted to a few government entities and agencies, as well as additional transfers to the Nevis Island administration to assist with the extra month's salary payments in December of that year. The costs associated with the implementation of the income support, disability support, fuel subsidy program, as well as expenditure beyond that, which was budgeted for the Poverty Alleviation Program, known as the PAP, and conducting due diligence on CBI applicants also contributed to the excess expenditure, said Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. On the debt situation at the end of December 2021, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts-Nevis said the total public sector debt stood at 1.6 billion or 69.2% of GDP, which represented a decline of 1.2% in absolute terms, but increase of 1.1 percent points in the debt to GDP ratio. All right, well, there's a lot of information happening there. And I do not claim to be an economist. I have thoughts based on what I've read, but again, like I said, I have very little. I didn't watch the. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't really watch the debate, and we could look forward to more discussion on this as the week goes on, I'm sure. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it continues. And yeah, I would like to hear, especially recognizing the vulnerability of the country to external factors that were mentioned, like how we intend to either stave off some of that, or perhaps even more importantly, how can we position ourselves to benefit, right? To benefit based on the present situation, having this current outlook. Those are some of the things that I'm sure will be discussed, and so hopefully those are highlighted, and we could then discuss some of those. Today's the 15th. Today's the day the dividend supposed to be paid, at least to some people. I need to go and fill out that form there. Somebody send me the link. Somebody listening right now, send me the link to fill out the form. Let me fill it out in the next break. But even that, I guess I have thoughts on it, and I'll probably discuss it, but once it's paid, because once it's paid, then nobody could say I was trying to not get it paid. And then this kind of highlights what I've been saying all the time. When the budget comes around, I would love if there was a non-partisan body of economists who could discuss the budget and break it down a bit more for us. I think we understand that politicians will politic. We understand that they will go in, they will talk about all the great things that they have done and all the bad things that the previous administration would have done, and they would set up themselves for any eventuality with the way they frame things. I mean, of course, we know the ploy for let's say the tactic used by some politicians is to undersell and over-deliver, and then where you draw that line is very important. So they do what they do, but I would love to hear from economists, and not independent thoughts. Of course, we could hear independent thoughts from economists as well, but I would love to hear from a group of economists who are not on the fringes politically, but moderate politically, who come together, examine it, and then come to the public to really dig into what is said, what we can expect. I mean, even people, I don't think the general public even understands how the government works as it relates to money, how ministries get funded, how disbursements operate, what happens if there's a need for expenditure that wasn't budgeted for. I don't think the general public kind of knows those things, and sometimes it informs, or that ignorance informs how we look at things. We just say, oh, the government got all these lot of millions, but they don't take the money go. Yeah, and then I think one of the things that I've been waiting to talk about a bit has been, the need for development of a wealth fund. I think I heard the Prime Minister kind of glaze over it. And so I'm hoping to hear more about that before I start banging my mouth too much about it. But we have someone trying to join the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. Talk to me.
Hey, good morning. Azim, how are you doing?
Morning, I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, you're giving God thanks, man. Great to be alive.
Of course.
Get to me 500 today.
Congratulations, you earned it.
Oh, hallelujah. In case now, because as I just said, business don't give a dividend every day.
I hear you.
So I shall be able to tell my grandchildren I got mine. Yes, I listen with. No, I am calling upon somebody who has an auditor's report.
Okay. You have one, you said?
Mahan, I hope you got one. Get your hand on one. I want to know.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I want to know what it says, because it is in that book. You see the chart, so you know who really had surplus and who had deficit. Right? You have the figures and you have the charts.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I couldn't quite understand if we had a deficit or a surplus.
I heard someone make that comment, and the discussion that was being had at the time was, do you believe that was by design?
Yeah, it was a political analysis.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'll tell you why. The figure for the citizenship wasn't given.
Okay. I think I've said here that I personally don't have an issue with that, but yeah, but continue.
No, you see, when you say that it was at least 50% of the recurrent revenue, and I think you said the revenue was 800 and something?
Yeah.
Well, I was a maths teacher at Baster High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
So half of that, a rough estimate?
It was like 50, I think it was like 54% or something
50,
like that.
I know, but I was going for the 50 because it's easier to manage.
Right, okay.
Of the 800 and something or the 900. Is that what it is? And at what point...
Recurrent revenue was 970.
Right, and he said that the CBI was 54% of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we use the maths,
Yeah.
Now, some of the reasons for some of the over expenditure, which he mentioned also, was the buyback of land, which is what I have been asking them to do.
Yeah.
Buy back the land.
Mm-hmm.
I did mention it was that, plus all of the supplements that they give.
So what my question was, that happened in 2021?
Yeah.
The buyback of the land?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he bought back for 400 acres.
Okay.
200 acres for 400 million, where the story go.
Okay.
Now, let me just talk to the writers of this report, you hear me? They must be more considerate of the person who has to deliver it, because he doesn't write it, eh?
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
And it used to be written, at least, in the economic division of the planning unit.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the speeches are written there, the stats come from stats and the bank and whatever. and then they write it. But whoever wrote it yesterday, they should have read it and time it. Because what they actually had, the Prime Minister did was repeating himself.
Mm.
And going into details in some area where the ministers will be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Follow?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he could have given a summary of some of them without going into it, because when the ministers get up to make the presentation, they're going to be repeating what he said. And it was a hard task. I mean, even before the gentleman half, he want water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, writing a speech and everything about this and that one before, you know, that's the political part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But up to now, nobody has said how they intend to diversify the economy. Because agriculture is here, you know.
Mm.
So they really can be no more diversifying of agriculture. And there was no mention of the control of the pests, the monkeys.
Well, I mean, things like that. For instance, you're speaking about the areas that the ministers may go into in specifically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So things like that, I think, would be more under
the.
the.
Not start writing it in, Mister.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we're really asking people to produce things to feed monkey. I mean, we have been hearing the frustration and the wild hog and so. If we're serious about sustainability of agriculture, we got to get serious about that.
Yeah, I mean, but we all know that agriculture is an area that has several issues. We've heard the cries of the farmers.
You know, many farmers have left the industry.
Yeah, but
it's frustrating.
They're constant.
The monkey them don't even have the manners or compassion.
But what I'm saying is,
they hold them up.
What I'm saying is, they do speak about that particular issue, but there seems to be a plethora of issues that's been plaguing the industry for quite some time. Access to water, electricity, fertilizers, of course the monkey issue. Yeah. So to me it does seem, and when the minister was here, we spoke a bit about it. It does seem a bit like it's almost cultural as well. Some of the challenges that we see just ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and sometimes some of the farmers too, you know, they're unwilling to adopt new technology and stuff like that.
Right. So I think there is one. I don't think the Prime Minister, if he was to address like specific things like that in the address, we might still be there listening. But
yeah, the poor man.
Yeah.
And this thing about not giving credit, a lot of credit should be given to the farmer government, you know.
Well, I mean, again, politicians will politic.
I know the politicians.
Yeah, so I mean,
even though the tourism, my good sister in the Lord, Sister Marsha, was saying, oh well, the former government used the policy from the one before. Now tell me. I laugh here. So but I like to listen to these things, eh?
Yeah. I think most of
my training and so, and I worked in the area where they prepare them, the stats and everything.
Right.
You know, so that there should have been the stats should be more compressed. So it would be easier for him to read.
I did take note of that for the short time I listened. That the way in which the information was presented, or written, made it a little bit cumbersome to present.
Cumbersome, yeah.
Yeah, it made it a bit cumbersome to present. And then again, like I said, that's not the fault of the Prime Minister himself.
No, but you hear me saying it's them who write it, eh?
Yeah. I did take note of that as well.
They should have read it themselves and time it. I mean, how much time you drink water yesterday? Somebody out there might be counting. It was a hard haul, you know. Mark's supposed to come on this morning. Mark said last night he's not going to talk no 3 hours and nothing.
Yeah.
So you better get to it. But to me now, before he comes, it puts him in a very kind of position. He might have to rely on Dr. Harris when he makes his presentation to respond to what was in the budget. Because he was the former Prime Minister.
Yeah, he's a former finance minister, so that would be in order. But
yeah, to me the greater response will come from him.
Yeah, that would be in order.
He instituted a lot of these things so he could clear up. You know?
Yeah, he's a former finance minister.
Say how. Because as you say, we're lacking St. Kitts professional people. We have all of these economists. I tell you, say it, you know. Well, I'm one, eh? But right now I can't see, but I could understand and I could handle data. But we have some people, economists, work central bank, some of them work for UN and whatever. And you tell me you can't get some together. First thing you got to let the public know you're not criticizing the government. Because some people see every comment as a criticism or an applaud.
Again, I keep saying that I think that what the society needs to move away from so much individualism and
politics. That the truth is the truth.
Right. So how you do that is, it is obvious that if a group contains persons of different political persuasions, and again, not extremist, but moderate, and the report that comes out is not by any particular person, right? Then I think that gives a certain level of credibility to what is said, and it also limits the amount of possible pushback. Yeah, and pushback from the government, victimization and that kind of that type of stuff.
But you know, there once was an economic society at the CFBC. Remember when you heard was there, don't know.
Okay.
They have it still. But we have a lot of economists up at the central bank, ECCB. A lot of them sitting down up there.
But I wasn't a part of an economic society, but I know when I did economics at CFBC, and when the budget address would be given, it would be an exercise in examining what was said and what it means and et cetera, et cetera. I think even an exercise like that, it could result in good commentary that the public would benefit from. So.
And it forces the young people to pay attention, because I listen to that thing day long. You know, and then they come out. Oh, well, then you said, well, it was in the budget. Really? And the youth parliament are putting them on the spot. That's a good exercise, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do encourage the general public to listen to the budget address, but I do understand that it gets a bit heavy.
Tedious.
Yeah, and tedious. And so I think, and for me, things like this, it really shows areas where the nation could evolve and grow. Yeah, we could grow. Yeah, we could grow because I mean, you should hear this. You should be hearing throughout the next week, or perhaps even early into next year, discussions about what does this mean and how does this affect you and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I had to correct somebody this morning. They were saying that Dr. Jew reduced the tax return. That's not true. What Dr. Jew said, in case people misunderstood him, he's going to allow the moratorium or whatever rate that was put in last year to go until June. And in June, they'll take a look at it and see if they need to. Did you know about that?
Well, the
reduction in the corporate rate will stay until June.
It's in June.
And in the non-incorporated.
Unincorporated,
yes. Yeah, until June. So somebody was saying, Doctor, you carry it down. He didn't carry it down.
Well, I guess you could say, in a sense, because he went back up since August.
He allowed it to stay.
He went back up.
No, he didn't go back up.
Okay.
He didn't go back up.
Like a person was saying they had to pay the 100%.
On what?
Unincorporated business tax.
Well, I want somebody to tell me that is true.
That was the report. That was the report. I was getting. But we see the good thing. The good thing though, like I said, is that
people need to listen. And he said, pay your taxes. All of you who won't pay your land tax and your house tax. I mean, you got to put a little more emphasis, you know, because the truth is, we don't want to contribute, but we want to get.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the electricity bills. He should say, because you're begging people to pay while they're using it. Now, if I was the Prime Minister, which I couldn't because I don't like party politics. I like politics, but not party politics. When they're sharing this 500 or so, I would first have to know how much they owe electricity department, and I would have transferred the money there. Because I don't finish and they're still in debt. And as he said, every month they have to give, they have to pay 9 million subsidy. I think that's how it was that it was being said, but it wasn't being paid. Me know the story go. 9 million every month to keep us from paying the surcharge. But if the government is paying so much for all of us, what is so hard in paying something on your bill?
Well, paying something is one thing, and I think that I believe that the information we were getting was that some of the biggest defaulters weren't necessarily residential clients of the electricity company. That's one.
That's always the case, you know, but
two,
that
but
doesn't excuse you.
And two,
But it doesn't excuse you.
yeah,
from paying you in.
and two, I believe that there are a lot of people who really and truly are making difficult decisions about where they're going to spend the limited resources they have. I think people are making decisions every day whether or not to pay their car note, to pay the electricity, to pay the phone
Now,
bill.
let me get to this car business too.
Right.
And you listen to the car companies. Some of them must just say, I am anti-business.
Some of them what?
Calling
Sorry?
people,
Some of them what? I didn't hear that.
might think I am anti-business. One of them says so.
Oh.
Against the private sector. You can't tell me people struggling. You tell them, come take out your car. And one of them got the guards to say, house and car this time. They're giving loan for house and car.
I don't know if that.
Wait, me done. And when they default now, you take back the vehicle and still want the balance. Like when the taxi man, I was saying, look, you take the taxi car, nothing must come in. When the season starts, you're supposed to give them back at the rate that they had before you take it back.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna tell you this. I from my experience, people who I know struggle with particularly the car payments. I'm not talking about regular bills and things. But people that I know struggle with car payments is really and truly when it's just that the situation that they're in has shifted since the time they took out the vehicle, you know. So they took out the vehicle at a point where they anticipated.
When they were able to handle it.
Yeah, when they were able to handle it, and something changed, perhaps a loss of job, perhaps a decrease in revenue in the business, that kind of thing, or just a miscalculation. I don't think people go into the car companies knowing that they can't afford it. So it's generally.
I mean, no, we're talking about no, those as I hear on the radio, no.
Yeah, but
you hear recession being predicted. For heaven's sake, why you pushing all the people? You're gonna take everything they have.
They have to advertise. They have to advertise. That's the business. Then they're gonna advertise.
Yeah, man, but for heaven's sake, that's in advertising.
That's the least of my thing.
Man, they're preying on the people.
That is the least predatory practice I hear on the radio. The radio every day I hear people talking about loans for carnival costumes at ridiculous interest rates. Like so I don't think people going out and spend $60,000. I don't think people going out and spend and get a loan for $60,000, $80,000 on something that they don't think they could afford. So we're gonna see. The budget continues. The budget continues, and hopefully we get some of the specifics that you mentioned.
Nobody not telling you don't go jump up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even the people them who got these bans, for heaven's sake, if you 2 years you ain't get nothing. It can be 2 years before the people get out of paying for food. And the lending agencies are predators.
Yeah,
they don't give you no.
Yeah, there's
call a company name, eh? What I'm saying is this. Oh, no payment for the next 3 months. When then now you can't even start to pay in the 4th month.
That's what I'm saying. So when we're talking about predatory practices, I think we need to look at lending structures. I keep saying that the lending tools that we have at the financial institutions are lacking, and
man, them the predatorial man for heaven. Then no, if you can think by December, January is always a hard month. Because 6 weeks before you get your pay. Then February short. I mean,
Yeah.
And then they're gonna charge you interest on top of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, one of them tell me the other day, they stop repossess. They take you straight across by the square, and from there you go up, and the government have to feed you.
Well,
Some other people got to use their senses. I am waiting to hear Mark analysis.
Yes, I mean,
I don't
senses.
expect it to be too critical because you gotta watch because what are the things, the item they mentioned that cause an over expenditure?
I recognize that. I recognize that was highlighted, and I'm wondering if that was in a way to
It's a warning.
to warn and pacify. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
Hear me, Mark better go give when Dr. Harris the thing to make this speech here.
We're gonna see.
Because anything he said, they cut off the allowance.
Yeah.
And then may God help us. Everybody have a happy Christmas.
All right, you take care.
God bless.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the response from the leader of the opposition, of course, and also when we start to get down to the presentations by the particular ministers and the outlook of their particular ministries. I'm actually quite interested in that. Sometimes the prime minister's address or the financial minister address sometimes is very all-encompassing. So we want some specifics and look forward to that. We have another call on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. Talk to me.
Good morning, my Island T family. How you all do today? How you all do? Happy Thursday, Thursday. Morning, we soon come by. Look like we really got to go back to the earth as them.
What do you mean? We expected to see some growth next year, man. Economy growing.
We better good because that one make I say I'm going to plant up my yard soon and I want to buy a fence because I have some animal here. Me ain't got no cattle and I just see them walking here like in here they live.
No manners.
Yes. I'm up for tuna. What you hear how much for tuna this morning? How much for tuna?
I don't know. I don't need tuna.
Down the streets at $10 and cents. $10 and cents.
For a can of tuna or for a case? You got to be for a crate, man.
One I say one when you go ask mommy when and daddy up in the hill, I said, Daddy, when I said, let me see the price, mommy, let me see the price. Yeah, and he will tell you, they're going to show you when you go in the kitchen. Yes, what's going on? Oh, don't talk about lettuce, just say lettuce call you high.
Well, I talked to a guy, he sells food. I usually go there and buy food, so I went and bought some sliced fish and some salad. The salad cost $22. The food cost $22. The man tell me, how is it that I could sell you this food for $22 and one head of lettuce is $22? I said, boss, I can't work out the maths. I don't know how you're doing. I don't know how you're doing it. He's selling fish and salad for $22, and one head of lettuce itself is just $22. I don't know.
Yeah. And there's a wine I used to buy when I was, at Christmas time. I mean, a wine for the business and so. Now I have the wine sky high over 144.
Well,
everything over 250.
Go make your own wine, man.
My mother, when I got done, my cousin, I got to get one of them big. Go up the factory, look one of them big. The sugar thing where they used to get that boil the sugar in.
Start now, by next year, you ain't got to worry. You got all the wine you need.
Well, what is going on?
Yeah,
and I heard, have you heard the news of him just say, no name. Have you heard the news?
Of what?
Well, lawyer and president and judge, they're going to lock up now. I hear some of them will run go out the country, one of them run gone back.
Well, I'm waiting for the police to confirm these things. So we can see.
No.
Yeah.
One of them run gone to England the other day. They name in the thing too.
Well, I don't know.
Have you heard the news? Telling.
I haven't heard the news, but I'm gonna tell you, I don't rejoice in people's misfortunes.
No, not rejoicing, but you just want to know if everybody heard the news.
Well, I don't know. Again, I'm waiting to hear from the police to see what if there's been any arrest and so forth, and what might be the charges.
How you think even say election swing? How you think, boy, that this till next year March with us ringing in happy for you?
You think so?
It would have swing right in the face where they were cooking and gas, not no wood, cooking and gas.
You was helping them? You was helping them? You was one of the campaign strategists?
I want to cook on an happy side. Well, we got to sit by a thing, one to on the go, you know, but when I hear the girl guy, my 100. Now, my cousin, you know, Jane, some kids the other day.
Okay, heal up for me. Tell her I said hello. When you talk to her again, tell her I said hello. But nuts lady, nuts lady.
She mother for me, money, remember, no, she them this young answer to me.
I feel you.
Yeah, it was swinging, good man, swing.
What I'm gonna tell, but
went up in the box.
We're gonna see. But nuts lady, we actually have some persons coming in to have a conversation with me now, so we're gonna have to continue this another time.
Okay, happy holiday of me hear from you again. Happy holiday. Don't get too drunk and disorderly, please.
Well, good advice. Thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on with Media SKN. Stick and stay.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Value Mart's IGA Value Club Christmas specials running December 1st through 14th. Nature Value granola bars $12.99. Super Chill sodas $6.99. Sunny Delights tangy and smooth $4.99. Celeste pizzas $6.99. Essential Everyday fries $13.99. Essential Everyday barbecue sauces $5.99. And now our very low weekly value deals. Multi-meal cereals, $13.99. Pillsbury cake mixes, $6.49. Purex liquid laundry detergents, $14.99. Dial soap, $9.99. Palmolive dish liquid, $9.49. Renews It adjustable air freshener, just $4.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Vinyl killers on the beat.
Straight from the streets.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. And as I said before the break, I'm actually being joined by some special guests here in the studio. We have with us representatives from the Inland Revenue Department, and they're looking very festive. And so I'm hoping that they have amazing news for us this morning. But guys, do me a favor, introduce yourself to the people, the viewers and the listeners.
Yes, good morning, St. Kitts. Good morning. My name is Odin Blanchett. I'm the public relations from Inland Revenue.
And he's joined by Nikisha Evans, and I'm a senior tax auditor in the Inland Revenue Department.
Well, morning, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate it. I was looking company this morning and you guys came in. So no complaints whatsoever. But what is it that is happening down at Inland Revenue that is so interesting?
Well, I think we have an idea, but just to make it official, tomorrow, that's the 16th, and Saturday, that's the 17th. So the 16th and the 17th of December, we're having our DVR days. That's our basically our VAT days.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
VAT days.
That's what we call it.
I try to be official with it, but I get a little slang to,
VAT reduction,
VAT reduction day,
Yeah.
VAT day. Yeah, we're having that, and we just want to remind the general public to come out, support the businesses, and we are here to just give a little some guidelines, to help their experience a little more favorable or better, so to speak.
Make sure everything is it goes well, and at the end of the day, everyone is happy and everyone is satisfied with what went down. I'm very curious to hear some of these tips. I got money to go spend tomorrow, but But who knows? I might find a deal. Somewhere. So let me know what I need to bear in mind.
All right. We just want to encourage the general public to come out to your businesses. Check to see VAT will be at the rate of 5% on sales of goods. I repeat, it will be 5% at a rate of 5% on the sales of goods.
Okay.
We also encourage the general public to be mindful that, yes, they have VAT, but it's not on everything, Certain things like supply of services, you have to be mindful of. So if you're getting a little incident and you need a little legal help, you don't know VAT on that. So you have to,
So just check your bill.
Check your bill. Restaurant fees, restaurant supplies. Sorry, there's no VAT on that. There is no VAT doesn't apply for that. Renting as well, renting services. So basically, any services that's been offered, there isn't any VAT applied to that.
Okay.
Yeah. But also, I want the general public to understand that the items must be eligible for sale and immediately available for issuance or delivery on the VAT days. That's the 16th and 17th. That's tomorrow and Saturday. We don't want, we have some funny people in the country where they order now and then, or they order on VAT day, and then next week they expect us some delivery, and then they expect the discount to, it doesn't work like that. Everything needs to be purchased, delivered, whatever you want to add to it on that day.
So you got to be in stock and ready to go.
Yes.
In stock and ready to go. I like how you put that.
Yeah, in stock and ready to go. Don't try to your people are like pre-order, VAT free. Don't
take that risk with that. Don't take that risk with that.
All
right. So we also want to encourage the general public that there are just certain things that obviously won't be eligible. Certain things like alcoholic beverages, that's including wine, include but not limited to wine, brandy, vodka, whiskey, you know the whole the Christmas drinks.
The Christmas spirits. Yeah, let's go with that.
That's a good.
The Christmas spirits, yeah. So these things won't be eligible for VAT. So just be mindful of those things, and then because the main things like guns, ammunition, those things obviously won't be eligible. So just for the people who still think they might, take a risk.
So they might be there to go buy the ammo.
I hope not. I hope not.
I got you.
We had VAT Day last month, but we didn't include the vehicles.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, so for this VAT,
Let me hear you.
these VAT days,
Tell me.
sorry.
The people waiting, say it. Say it.
In relation to the vehicle purchases, VAT will be exempted on the first 50,000 on the cost of your vehicle. Be mindful, you must be ready to
Drive off the lot.
Tomorrow and Saturday. So you have 2 days. That's how good the government is.
So the question though is, it's VAT is excluded on the first 50,000 of the vehicle, which is lovely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
However, anything excess of the 50, so anything after that 50, you have to go back to the standard 17%.
Lad, man, couldn't guess the 5? Couldn't guess the 5 on that there?
Sorry about that.
We take what we get.
I mean,
we take what we get.
A blessing is a blessing, eh?
Yeah.
A blessing is a
I don't want to be ungrateful.
Yes. Oh, and also, persons receiving duty-free concessions on vehicles will not be eligible for VAT Day.
Okay.
For the first 50,000. So you got your documents and you think with your duty-free and all those things, and you think you could get through with a little 5%. Sorry.
We ain't stuck in the discounts.
So those who are eligible for or receiving, duty-free concessions, I'm sorry, but you have to pay the standard rate.
I got you. All right. Well, I mean, they weren't eligible for the discount on the first VAT day, so we appreciate the little cut off on this one.
You're welcome.
All right. So for those who are curious on like what businesses might be available, we just asking the general public, and not even just the businesses. If you want more information, detailed information, you could also always visit the website, our website, that is www.sknird.com. You can get all the information that we are talking about now, and a little more and in a little more detail. And if you just want to see what businesses are listed, you could visit the website for that. You can also visit our social media platforms, preferably Facebook. Yes, preferably Facebook.
That's the most up to date.
That's all of them update, but we get a little more traffic via Facebook.
Got you.
So we don't mind being bilingual in terms of website and the social media platforms.
Right.
So visit the website again and our social media platforms. At the social media platform, it is St. Kitts-Nevis Inland Revenue Department. You could always get the information from those medium or those sources.
Okay.
Also, we want to ask the public to just, when you're on the website or you're on the social media pages, familiarize yourself with the brochures. I said it a little, I alluded to it a while ago. Just take your time, go through. We might not say what you're looking to hear, but if you visit our social media platforms, our website, familiarize yourself with the brochures. You will get in-depth information about all you need to know about, from the consumer part, from the business part, from the vehicle part.
Right.
We have a brochure just for the vehicle explanation about VAT. So familiarize yourself with the brochures, and don't don't lose out on the opportunity. That's the most I would say on that.
All right. Well, I mean, it is. I know people are excited. Christmas season is here.
Yes.
I know there are people who are, anxiously waiting for tomorrow and Saturday to try and pick up any last minute gifts, any last minute things for the house and the home. And so, we could expect people to be out and about tomorrow, bustling and hustling, trying
Yes.
to get the business done.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
But of course, every VAT day there's discussions about, let's say, skepticism sometimes about certain businesses and their business practices. Is there anything that the Inland Revenue suggests consumers do to just try and protect themselves from any
He's reading my mind.
any bad practices?
Well, you touched on what I'm going to talk about next.
Is it turban? Is it turban? Yeah.
All right. Well, we are asking the general public to do your pre-checks. If you got to come up with your calculators, if you got to come up with your premeditated questions about the pricing and everything, we just be sure, be safe. Sometimes we have some incidents where it's not done like how it's supposed to be. And so we ask in general public to be vigilant, come out with as I mentioned, your calculators if you need to, come out with your sources. Sometimes we have people in positions who can give us further detail or who could break it down for us to make life a little easier for us. So just be safe. Just be
mindful,
safe.
yeah.
Be mindful as you go out for tomorrow and Saturday. But if you still feel unfairly treated, we advise that you contact Consumer Affairs.
Okay.
Have some numbers here for those who are interested. If you don't mind me just listing one or two.
Please do.
For those who might have little queries, sometimes you might not find that the price might not be matching up to what is explained here or from what you see on our brochures. You can always call Consumer Affairs. I think they go by extensions. So the numbers are 467 1550. That's one. I think that's the top boss. You can also try 467 2616. I repeat, 467 2616. And you can also try 467 1641. I repeat, 467 1641. You can contact them. They will be able to direct you. They could answer any queries. You could even call the Inland Revenue just for information's sake. If you want us to direct you to Consumer Affairs, we don't mind. That's part of our responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So guys, check your receipt. Right. Look at your receipt. Sometimes, these things are computerized. We're not suggesting that everyone is out there trying to walk one on you, as we might say locally, but it's in your best interest to protect yourself and ensure that you're keeping as much of that money in your pocket as you anticipated. So, just really look at your receipts and be mindful, be vigilant. And of course, if there's any queries, like our guest said, reach out to Consumer Affairs, let them know, hey, I got a question. Let me know this thing go.
Yeah. Well, just to add to what you said, check your receipts. Firstly, the business are required to remove the entire. So make sure they remove the entire standard rate of VAT when you're looking at the pricing. Secondly, the applied discount. So just be mindful of these things, and then make sure that.
Well, that is a question.
Okay.
The question I have is,
okay,
when we hear already a lot of the businesses advertising special discounts or special promotions for the VAT days. For instance, 20% off on particular items, or 15% off store-wide. When does the 5% VAT on relevant items get calculated? Does it get calculated before or after the discount is applied?
Okay. So the 5% is calculated after the discount is applied.
That's last.
Last.
Okay. Cool. Gotcha. But that's what you wanted, eh? Oh boy. But yeah, thank you for that. And so guys, bear in mind, you could expect some promotions tomorrow, as you know.
We hope.
Yeah, man. They done talking about them, you know. We hear them right on the radio. All right, so we expect some discounts tomorrow, as you know, the vendors try to entice you to come and do business with them. Bear in mind that the reduced VAT is calculated after the discount is applied.
And also, just a last note on from the department side, officers from the department and Consumer Affairs will be conducting compliance checks on the days. So you sometimes you don't even need to call. We on the road with the consumers, making sure that you get your fair treatment.
Oh, my bad.
Well, you get your fair treatment. So just be mindful of that. So if you see anybody have any queries, you don't necessarily, once you know who is who, but we're on the road with you, making sure that everything goes as smooth as possible.
All right, appreciate that. And quick question for each of you: what is one item that you guys are really looking forward to trying and get at the VAT reduction, either tomorrow or on Saturday?
I gotta let my business like that. Oh my. Okay, for me, well, ladies first. Let me go.
For me, I have.
You look like you like jewelry.
Of course, and perfume and all of those nice stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's what you was gonna say?
Yeah.
For me, it's just
the turban.
For me, it's just the sink, the faucet.
New faucet.
Yeah, and looking at a new faucet for my bathroom.
So
you might see me asking, looking out for my consumer representative, just in case.
Yeah.
My price might be a little shaky there.
Make sure everything on the up and up. I got you. I got you. All I want for Christmas is for y'all to advise the powers that be to stop calculating the VAT on the duty. I could just ask a question for me.
Ooh.
Just ask it.
Yeah, it's a question, so we don't mind.
Yeah. Just ask it for me. That's all I want for Christmas.
Done.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out with me this morning, man.
We appreciate coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, tomorrow, go out, be safe. And before any last words before we wrap up? I don't wanna.
We just want to again remind the public to check your receipts, do your pre-checks on the pricing, do your little homework. Keep in mind that VAT will be exempted on the first 50 on vehicles, but anything after that will have the standard 17% rate. And then if you're not sure, you can always visit our website and our social media page or platforms. Our website is www.sknird.com, and our social media page, that is Facebook, and preferably, it is St. Kitts-Nevis Inland Revenue Department.
All right, man. Well, appreciate it again. Both of you, thank you so much for coming and hanging out and really informing our listeners, and viewers about what they can expect and ways they could really enhance the experience tomorrow.
Yes.
As they go out and get ready for Christmas Day.
Yes.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having us.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea. Stay tuned, stay locked, don't go anywhere. Please come back. See you in a little bit right here on Island Tea.
Yes.
food people promises to make your holiday season a whole lot merrier and brighter. Simply shop at Ram Supermarket and Cash and Carry this December and enter to win free groceries for 1 year valued at $50,000. At Rams, you're always guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better service. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people. 'Tis the season to shop with your good food people at Rams. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Ram, the good food people promises to make your holiday season a whole lot merrier and brighter. Simply shop at Ram Supermarket and Cash and Carry this December and enter to win free groceries for 1 year valued at $50,000. At Rams, you're always guaranteed better prices, better quality, and better service. Happy holidays from Rams, the good food people. 'Tis the season to shop with your good food people at Rams. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, people here coming in, keeping me company this morning, and I appreciate it big time. This morning, it's Thursday, and we have yet another representative from the Sugar Mass Committee. And I know what we're about to talk about is really going to excite and interest a lot of you guys listening. I know there's a lot of anticipation for this particular event. But I'm going to allow my guest to introduce himself to you guys. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cartel Ford, the chair for the Kitts-Nevis National Steel Pan Competition. and I'm here to discuss the highly anticipated Panorama.
Well, do me a favor now, man. Watch the camera here. So
the camera right there?
Yeah, so shift your body a little bit. So the people could say.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, of course, we don't know what your relationship status is, but you never know who's looking. But yeah, man, I am really excited to hear about how things have been going as it relates to planning of the what we call the Panorama. Because, a few years ago, there was a lot of talk about, the need for us to really resurrect steel pan. And I really believe that we have seen a resurgence of pan, not only here in St. Kitts, but even in Nevis. But how has the preparations been happening?
Well, preparations for Panorama has been very intense. As you say, we are trying to revitalize the image of steel pan, because as you know, steel pan was introduced in the early stages of Carnival. We had steel pan music, brass band, calypso, and we just want to know that we are still here and we're still kicking. So it has been intense, but enjoyable. The steel pan groups are ready. They are anticipating a great event. My committee has been working diligently, meticulously, of course, with the help of Miss Shannon Hawley, national chairman. She has been a great assistant to me. The Honorable Samuel Duggins has been a great mentor, so I'm really, really happy to be a part of it. And yeah, man, we're looking for a great show.
Well, the show is when exactly?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Friday the 16th, December 2022. Slated for tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Wonderland, also known as Carnival Village.
Right.
So it's really, really interesting. And just a brief introduction into Panorama for those who may not know. Panorama, as I said before, is a national steel pan competition.
Okay.
So it allows steel bands, steel groups to compete against each other and be recognized as the Federation's top steel band, and to also walk away with a grand prize of $15,000.
Boom, bam.
So, you see all the money there?
Boy, I'm telling you.
It's really intense.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you, I have the pleasure of, being around a lot of these competitions. And, sometimes we hear the pageants come in and, you talk to the contestants and, there's a real sense of camaraderie there. And you talk to the Calypsonians and, you get the jabs from the soca man. But I don't know if the level of competition is anywhere as intense as it is between the steel bands. And yes, there's a level of camaraderie there as well. But the sense of competition between the steel bands, I tell you, it's really something to behold. They come hard.
Yeah, it really is. And we have to keep in mind that this year we have 7 steel pan players.
Wow.
7 steel bands. Yeah, 7 groups. Which is approximately 220 individuals.
Wow.
So that's 220 personality in one area.
One stage.
So you could imagine that.
One stage.
And just to name a few of the bands, we have...
No, name all, man.
I'm not going to name all, yeah. Because nobody cut me short. So I have Pan Vibe Steel Orchestra, which is basically a new band.
Nice.
We have Young Vibrations coming straight out of Nevis.
Okay.
We have the Nevis Community Development Steel Orchestra. We have, of course, EBJ Harmonics, the defending champions.
Yeah.
We have Pandemic Steel Orchestra, which is another new band as well.
Okay.
Poinciana Rhythm Steel Orchestra and Wally Rhythm Steel Orchestra. So if you look at it, we have a good mixture of seasoned and new. So there's a lot of war going on up there. As I said before, we have new versus seasoned, Nevis versus St. Kitts, and everybody versus EBJ Harmonics. So it's really, really intense this year.
Yeah, it's really setting up to be a really cool competition. And I'm going to tell you, I've spoken to some of the pan groups, and some of them seem to started practicing as early as January last year, start identifying songs, looking, getting the players up to scratch, working on their sound, working on the performance. And so it really does feel like a year of preparation culminating tomorrow night up at Wonderland. It
It
really
is.
And
And you see how you said that they started early, and up to this day, they're still going to the last hour, burning the midnight oil, so to speak. We have bands here practicing 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, knowing that they have to work at 7.
Right.
So it's really, you could say that they're passionate about it, really, really passionate. And I'm just very humbled to be a part of it.
Yeah, man. I could imagine. I've passed by some of the rehearsals. I hear this sweet pan music, the sweet arrangements, and of course the intensity is there.
Yes, it really. I mean, I had the pleasure to listen to everybody, of course. Because
You went around to the rehearsals?
Yes, I did. I videotape all of them. I tired shake, I tired sweat, and many even in competition. So you just imagine everybody else. And that's the reason why I like steel pan music, because steel pan music, it doesn't discriminate. It knows no age, no creed, no gender. So for this year's competition, the age group is just amazing. I mean, we have individuals at the age of 9 and 10, children. Up to the age of, let's say, he gonna abuse me, but I'm saying 68.
Yeah, don't call him name, though.
No, may call him name yet. May call him name. So you can, I mean you, even if you don't know. 68. And then we have national, non-nationals. We have people from Barcelona, Spain, Trinidad. I'm like, yes, this is a good mixture. Male, female. So it is really, really something to watch tomorrow.
The pan music, I think, is something that, yes, it brings people from all walks of life, all ages.
Because it's unique,
genders.
and it's a very universal sort of instrument.
Right.
You can't go wrong.
Exactly. But also that makes it appealing to a wide variety of people. I think there's a lot of people who are really looking forward to the event. It's an event where I think a lot of people who want something different and something where they could maybe take their entire family. Could participate in and take part in. I think this is something that kind of right up the alley for those types of those type of things.
I agree because it's very soothing. You just sit down there and you just listen to the sweet vibrations.
Well, if you could sit, because some of these bands are coming.
I know I ain't gonna be in a city now. Even though they got cheer up there, I know ain't gonna be in a city though. Exactly.
Yeah, so, man, and I know that even some of these groups, they have their diehard fans, and I already hear, supporters saying, "Hey, what colors we supposed to wear tomorrow?"
Yeah, you could imagine that. I was walking across the road just now, and somebody wanted to put me a chokehold. So, anyhow, EBJ win, I cheat. I said, "We may know about that."
Just tell me don't judge. Tell me don't judge.
Too easy.
But yeah, it's really good to see that the support for the steel bands are there and it's strong, and I really think this competition has really done a big part in helping to maintain steel band music and the playing of steel band and that particular skill in the federation. I think this is a very important work that you're involved in.
Yes, it is, and that's what I'm saying. I'm really, really excited to be a part of it.
As a matter of fact, we had the opening of Carnival, when was it? Like, not this weekend, last weekend?
Last weekend.
The one before.
You saw them on the road?
And there was some pan on the road.
Okay.
I was very excited to see that. Anytime I see pan on the road, that's a plus for me.
Yes. I mean, we have to showcase our steel band music. I mean, we are living in the age of social media, where we have rap and we have pop and all these things. But at the core of it, steel pan music is part of our culture, and as such, we have to embrace our culture.
Right.
I'm really big for culture.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know where you're coming from to know where you are going.
Indeed.
And steel pan music plays a vital role in the hearts of young people. That's why I'm really, really excited about it. But for those who haven't bought any tickets yet, tickets can be sold at the E.C. Daniel building. Oh, I said sold, right? Bought.
Yeah.
At the E.C. Daniel building on Cairn Street, Bastille, which is basically situated between Cindy and the gas station.
Right.
If you don't want to walk, because I know like some people ain't really in the mood to walk all the time, you can also purchase them online at www.skncarnival.com for just at the price of $30. At the end and Friday at the show, tickets can be bought at $40.
Oh, at the gate?
At the gate, yes.
Okay.
So it's $30 now and $40 at the gate. So I'm not really a mathematician, but I think 30 is less than 40, right?
That's what I've been told. I don't
So
think it's
I
changed.
don't know. Maybe I got to ask Curtis Cook, but that's what I know. So it's easy and it's better for everybody to buy the tickets now than to wait to pay at the gate.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I know there are people who are looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, somebody asked me why they're having the event so early, which really tells me that they really have this event to be a really big spectacle. But the event's got to be sometime.
I mean, if we push it back any time later, I don't think we don't even got to do it because how sweet the pan music be. So
I gotta give people the time for the sweetness to go.
Yeah, man. You gotta soak it in.
So I mean, we've heard about just to mention how many bands from Nevis and how many bands from St. Kitts.
So we have 4 bands from Nevis and 3 from St. Kitts.
Imagine that, eh?
That's what I'm saying. And Nevis more than St. Kitts.
Yeah.
So you could see the real thinking, the control behind it. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, and I really think this is one of those really national events, right? One of the events that really bring together people because, like you said, it's 220 individual pan players that are going to be on one stage, and we're hearing already that a good amount of them are coming from Nevis. It really is a national event.
So you see that 220 people. So we had to increase the stage for them.
Right.
And then we're coming out of a hiatus for 2 years. So it's really the pressure is on, and everybody and the mother want to it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward, and I'm inviting everyone out tomorrow at Carnival Village to watch steel pan music come alive.
So in terms of the way the competition is run, is it that they all play the same song? Is it that they're able to choose their own song? Like what can people expect in terms of the presentations from the steel bands?
Well, we as the National Carnival Committee has decided that it should always be a free range type of thing. So everyone has been able to select their own song. All we ask that the song be soca or calypso. So we don't really have a choice as it relates to song choice. We just indicate that it has to be soca and calypso. The performances should be 8 minutes. Max. So if you do the maths again, I'm really not a mathematician, but you spend 12 months doing all this work, doing the overtime, crossing the I's, doing the T's, just for 8 minutes. So it's intense.
Right. I could imagine. And of course, with that being said, the soca and calypso, each band chooses their own song, so it's going to be a range of music. It's going to be a range of arrangements. And it really sets us up for a really interesting and exciting show, I believe. Yes, and if the last 2 years have been any indication, they did it virtually.
Yes, they did, and you see how that went off. So imagine now with a crowd.
With a crowd, because I know people. I've heard people long before we start talking about anything else, already coming in and talking about Panorama. When is Panorama? Before the calendar came out, when is Panorama?
With the posters, who doing it? And Jesus.
Boy,
the only issue I might have now that now I want to play Stephen, and if I continue as a chair, would that be considered cheating?
Oh boy. Well, I think we could make an exception. Because at the end of the day, you still ain't judging.
Exactly. Let it be known, I am not judging. Okay.
You're still not judging. Now, I know that people are really coming out to really hear the steel pan, but is there anything else persons can expect to be entertained with at the event tomorrow evening?
Yes, man, we have a big lineup for y'all. So the event is hosted by the beautiful and incomparable Unoma Allen.
Oh, Lady Sunshine, wow.
Yes, the voice of the angels. And then we have a good cast. We have Genesis Band.
Okay.
We have the hype man himself, Ruckus H.E. And closing the show, we have, I like to call him the Honorable Mr. Mention. Right off the new voice.
The legend himself.
Of course.
So it's really a packed night of music.
It really is.
And really punctuated by sweet steel pan music. And I, for sure, I'm really looking forward to that event. It is one that is circled on my calendar for sure. This is definitely one of my favorite events. I'm not even. I like it so much. I got to the one in Nevis, the Night of Steel that they had in Nevis. I went to that, and I know people, like I said, really looking forward to this. But you did mention earlier that you have a team involved with you. You wanna take some time and shout out to the members of your team?
Yeah, man, my honorable Panorama team has been doing such a great job keeping me grounded. I have Askit Watson, I have Saskia Evans, Tisha Williams, and Mr. Nigel Prentice. So my team is small, but what we lack in quantity, we have in quality.
Nice.
So I'm really happy for my team.
Well, I know I've had the pleasure of meeting you guys, and I could feel the passion and the expertise that is involved there. And so I know you guys are working tediously to make sure that everything comes off.
Of course.
Tomorrow. Hey, you want to take a call or two? That's you cool with that?
Yeah, sure, no. One or two.
Let's see what the callers have to say. I got a feeling there's somebody calling in to take the pan group going in. Bye-bye. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? We lost that one. Maybe they got shy.
That is good.
Let's see if this caller's here. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? They're calling back. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. Talk to us.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good
morning.
And it's such a thrill to hear that interview. I think that was an excellent interview you're doing there, my friend. You know.
Thank you.
I'm really thrilled to hear about the steel band. I'm really a steel band fanatic for years.
Nice.
And I thought it's very good to bring it back, accept the part of the program in Carnival. I have a suggestion that I wanted to make.
Sure.
Just hear it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think that really lacking in our Carnival is steel band on the road. It's good to have the competition, and that is what I really promote most and foremost. But because of the brass band and the sound system and all that stuff, steel band on the road here in St. Kitts especially is no longer really a prominent component of the road show. I was thinking and maybe suggesting, like a suggestion, whereby if we can have some incentive being given to any mass band or any troops that use a steel band to support them on the road. And maybe even have a certain time or a certain segment whereby all the troops with steel band on the road will be given a preference or incentive or a special time, because they could be drowned out by all the other bands.
The other bands.
So that might be something to be considered, whereby we can get steel band back, because I think steel band to me is the essence, is the heart of Carnival, steel band calypso, in my opinion. So just thought I would suggest that,
No problem.
Yeah, whereby we can really have the real steel band, coming out on the road again. We got the steel band supporting the band, the troops.
All right, caller. Appreciate you. Appreciate your contribution.
Yes, and as part of the National Carnival Committee, we welcome all suggestions. You have something to say, just call us, shoot us a message, and we can consider everything.
Yeah, I think we did speak earlier about the fact that...
We did speak about it, that steel band is on the road. We did it for the opening of Carnival, and who knows, you would have to see if we do it on parade day as well.
Well, I'm gonna make a suggestion. I know the parade route has changed, and it seems for the most part that the route avoids the center of town.
That is it.
So my suggestion would be for persons who are in town, walking around, checking out the parade. I don't think most people are going to follow the parade for the entire route. So perhaps even in town, central part of town, places that were once dominated by the hi-fi systems and the amplified bands. Maybe we could have some places in town where we could have some steel pan going, and maybe that works. Where people have the option.
It sounds good. I'll run it with my committee and Shannon, of course. Shannon, I hope you're listening. You're hearing the people. So
that's something that I might.
It's real. I love the suggestions. I have it noted here right on my phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something. Yeah. Maybe even in the square or maybe in the circus, there might be a place where a band or two could set up and then kind of entertain the people, even if they're not really moving around.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. I see that. We can discuss that.
Yeah. Well, definitely. That's something that I think people would appreciate in town, because the way I look at it as well is, once the parade, and bear in mind that the parade this year is setting up to be one of the largest,
because you see how much troops we have.
One of the largest, and it does seem like the excitement is there for the parade. But at some point, the route is so long and straightforward that there might be times where there's a lull, right? And so I think in order to avoid those lulls, hey, why not steel pan music?
It's true.
That might work. That might work out well. Who knows? All right.
Hey man.
Well, first thing I was supposed to ask you, because every time I call your name, I'm tempted to go, oh, afterwards. People listen to that?
Yeah, man.
I could imagine
going up with a name like that? Cartel. Sometimes you go class, nobody even want to call me name. You be like, that's your real name? I'll just call your last name. I'm like, okay. In church, they want to They don't want to call it, they say Mr. Ford.
I didn't even think about that in church.
And then you see the first name and the last name, Cartel, and then you got Ford. I don't understand my mother. I really don't understand it.
I don't know. She was a fan of Cartel, and she
don't even have a backstory to it. That's how. My God.
Every time I want to call her name, I want to say, oh, afterwards. I'll call you Addy or something.
See the next one.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, man, congratulations to you and your team. Of course, we're wishing all the steel band groups the best showing on tomorrow night.
Yes.
And people, support your group. And if you don't have a particular group, just support sweet steel band music. It is unlike anything else in the world. There's no other instrument in the world like steel band. And we have it right here. And we have some amazing players of the instrument right here. And so we get great arrangements. Big up to, of course, not only the groups themselves, but the instructors of these groups. I know they have been working.
The real Iron Man behind it, everything.
I'm telling you, the instructors behind these groups, I think sometimes they go unsung. And sometimes they don't even perform. It's so much.
There's so much to do behind the scene. They don't even get the energy to go up to the front.
I'm telling you, they're working so hard for so long. So really want to big up the instructors, and of course, especially for the younger players. Players, big up yourself one time, and the parents of these kids who really sight fit to allow their kids to get involved in something like this at such an early age. I really believe that Pan is in a good place in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I'm looking forward to what's next. You have young groups we formed first time this year.
First times.
I spoke to one of the instructors recently to inform me that one of the groups really less than a year old were competing. So I mean, there's just so much to look forward to, even past the show. But of course, the show is tomorrow night, and we expect to see everybody there. Yeah. Well, Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, man, I appreciate you taking the time out. But before you go, I just want you to give the persons the specifics, time, place, price, and of course, call out the names of all who's going to be competing tomorrow night before we wrap up.
Sure, no problem. So as I said before, the competition is tomorrow night at Carnival Village, and we're starting on time, 8 p.m.
Indeed.
Sharp.
Yep.
And you can purchase tickets at the Carnival Secretariat on Cairn Street at the E.C. Daniel Building, second floor, or online, as I would have said before, www.skncarnival.com. We have 7 bands, 1 title, 7 bands, 4 from Nevis, 3 from St. Kitts. Pan Vibes, Young Vibration Steel Orchestra, Nevis Community Development Steel Orchestra, EBJ Harmonics. We have Pandemic Steel Orchestra, Poinciana Rhythm Steel Orchestra, and finally, Owali Rhythms Steel Orchestra.
7 bands.
7 bands.
And don't forget, we also have a bunch of side acts.
We have Genesis Band, Ruckus HE. We have Mr. Mention, the host DJ. How could I forget the host DJ? The host DJ, straight out of Nevis, DJ Smudge.
DJ Smudge, one time, and of course.
Wonderful, and everything is, as I said, hosted by the beautiful Unoma Allen.
Oh boy, well,
So-
I don't think there's anywhere that you could have anything less than an amazing time at the Panorama, the
Yeah,
National
man.
Steel Pan competition tomorrow. It's definitely something that I'm looking forward to, like I said before, and congratulations to you and your team for all the work that you've been putting
Thank you.
in.
The pleasure is all the steel pans. Ain't much but steel pans, so yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for all the work that you guys have been doing, and of course all the work that the pan players have been putting in to make
Yes,
sure
yes,
that tomorrow
yes,
comes
intense.
off
And
amazing.
as I said, everyone come out tomorrow so we can celebrate as one for Sugar Mass 51 and Bill of Vibes.
Indeed, indeed.
Wonderful.
Mr. Ford, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate
problem,
it.
no problem,
Appreciate it.
anytime.
And I'm gonna be seeing you in a few hours. As the work continues in
Yes.
preparation. But yeah, man, take care of yourself.
Yeah, man,
And,
bless up.
yeah, feel free to come back. We could even come back and talk a bit about the competition and how great it was, and laugh in the face of those who decided
man.
not to come.
Yeah, man. And eat. Sure, don't forget to eat.
Okay. Well, that's what we're gonna do then. I can tell you,
Yeah,
we
man.
link it up.
Yeah,
We link
man.
it up.
On your bill. On your bill. Yes.
Anything less to be uncivilized. All right, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
No problem.
All right. Well, guys, they had it. This National Steel Pan competition that happens tomorrow night. It's $30 by ticket. If you running a bit late with your purchase and have to purchase your ticket at the gate, then it's gonna be $40. So don't do that. Link up the tickets early. Tickets can be purchased at the EC Daniel building at the Carnival Secretariat, or actually we're in 2022, check it online, skncarnival.com, and purchase your tickets right there. Right? I'm telling you guys, I've heard some of the bands, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But time is fast spent. I gotta leave. I gotta go. I gotta disembark. I gotta disappear. So please, guys, accept my appreciation for being here with me this morning, hanging out. Jade, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Hopefully here with me tomorrow, and we could do some damage on the airways. But guys, thank you so much for being a part of what it is that we do here in the morning. It is not lost on us how important it is to just have you guys supporting us there. Whether you joined us on Facebook, YouTube, winmediaskn.com, or any of the other digital media platforms, or whether you joined us on the radio, 98.9 FM, make sure you turn it up loud. Your neighbors ain't gonna complain. It's good things they're listening to. They're gonna tell you thanks. They might even give you a Christmas gift, so turn it up a little louder. So thank you so much for being a part of what we do here again. And of course, I just want to remind you to learn from the losses of others. Learn from the... Mr. Ford, you got fans, eh? I just letting you know. You got fans on the live. Yeah. Hold on there. What is that?
Well, I hear we get paid today, so we're drinking.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much again. But of course, before I leave, I just want you to know to learn from the losses of others. Spend more time in living your content than posting it. And of course, most importantly, remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.